Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, mini Motorways. We are off to Zurich for today's daily challenge. And I suppose, well, first of all, my Wordle box is up. Oops. But secondly, that is not what we intended to show you. We have a decreased speed limit on bridges. We begin with 4 tunnels. You may notice that, well, the Spotify window's weird. Apparently, and this is just a thing that happens in the corporate technological hellscape that is the internet in 2025. There are, apparently, multiple, enormous, very profitable, load-bearing sources of the entire goddamned internet, and one of them isn't working. So if you go to a website like, say, twitch.tv, and you find that it isn't working, or you open a program such as OBS and you find that it isn't working, or in this instance, you bring up your little box that says what you're playing on Spotify, and it isn't working, it's not your fault. Hooray for Cloudflare. Let's see here. Is the chat box working? I don't think the chat box is working either. Hooray. Good morning, good afternoon, Sun Flare Space. Welcome, Sunny. We started with 4 tunnels, so I'll take a roundabout. We'll get our speed going. I'll turn down the volume of the mic in my headphones because, God, I sound loud and I'm not yelling. I'm out of breath because I'm fat and I had to move swiftly. All right, let's see. These yellows will move here. Sunny has sent another message so as to test the chat box, and yeah, the chat box isn't working. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Nah, it's fine. We'll just see how it plays out. I have a roundabout. I could perhaps use it here. I mean, we could, but other things would also be fucky. Shit. Just looking at how to get blues over to this blue, and I think the answer is one of our very many tunnels, actually. We have so very many of them, we may as well make use. Let's bring this up to here, like so. And the 2 of these dark blues will service this business, and everything shall be both dunky and hoary. Amazing. Now then, hopefully Bluesky is working, because I had a bit planned for today. Oh good, Bluesky's working. I want to go through. It's been a while since we did this. I have done it before. First of all, we're going to take 30 road tiles here. Second of all, we don't have a bridge. So, game, this is a bit of an issue. The fact that we don't have a... Oh, good. We got a red to spawn. We'll bring this red over here for this red business. These yellows, this yellow very easily could support this business, but I drew this road instead. It's fine. It's basically fine. So, if you, like me, are a person who is on Bluesky fairly regularly, you, pretty much against your will, have been exposed to a truly terrible person and author and writer and such who may or may not have had an extra relationshipal affair with a presidential candidate who may or may not have a literal worm in his literal brain. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, God, I envy you. I want your life, person who is listening to me but doesn't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it is a horrendously annoying conversation topic that people will not shut up about because it is one of the very, very few opportunities to see one of the people who somewhat caused all of this get anything resembling comeuppance, rather. Kudos are fine. Kudos are easy to come by for those people. Comeuppance is a rare and special thing. Sunny does not know what I'm talking about. Well, I suppose I would be a bad producer of entertainment if I did not set the scene properly. I don't know all of the details, but I will give one and exactly one shot at doing my best. First of all, we're going to draw motorway number 1 up here to bring these white houses up this way. This could be a pretty... Actually, with so many tunnels, this is going to be a tunnel. I was going to say this could be a pretty straightforward tunnel, but I don't feel like doing that. But actually, upon further reflection, I do feel like doing that. So, let's bring motorway number 1 into and then out of existence. Toss it down that way. I'll take a bridge, because Lord knows we need some. Specifically, in this instance, we need... Oh. Hi. I wasn't planning on you existing. Oh, boy. Well, all right. First of all, this blue house is going to come over here and do this for this blue business. Secondly, this blue house is going to come down here and make this one the one that has only 1. Third of all, these 2 blues are going to run over here. All right. So there's this writer. I hesitate to use the word journalist for reasons you'll understand. But there's this writer named Olivia Nuzzi. And she was some head editor of something. I think maybe the Washington Post or something. And then it turned out, and she was covering politics. It was her beat. She was reporting on it. And, politics in America in 2020-something is a rather important topic. There's a lot of money in people's lives and, active fascist takeovers involved. So it's a big deal. So you're the politics writer for the Washington Post or whatever. It might have been Vanity Fair. I know she's with Vanity Fair now. She might have been with Vanity Fair the whole time. If you're a journalist, and this is one of the reasons I hesitate to use the word journalist, but at the time it could have applied. If you're a journalist covering a subject, one thing you should not do, particularly if your subject is literally Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., is become engaged in a sordid extramarital affair with Mr. Kennedy Jr. And then another thing that you certainly should not do after this sordid extramarital affair with literally RFK Jr. Comes out and is revealed is write a truly horrible, self-aggrandizing, self-justifying profile of yourself for the magazine that has somehow either made or retained you as one of its very important editors, wherein you explain how it came to be that you had a relationship with literally Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. that contains just some of the truly worst, god-awful writing in the world, because either they assigned an editor to the piece who hates you, or you did not have an editor for the piece. You'll never guess what happened. So that's the TL didn't want to know DR of it all. There's this lady named Olivia Nuzzi. She had a sordid affair with literally RFK Jr. and wrote about it for Vanity Fair. And then last night, wait, this gets better, Olivia Nuzzi's ex-boyfriend, who himself is a goddamned terrible writer, wrote a truly horrible, here's my side of the story, regarding the time his girlfriend, well-paid journalistic figure, Olivia Nuzzi, engaged in a sordid extra-relationshipal affair with literally RFK Jr. That is apparently, God, I haven't read any of this, and yet I have been exposed to it because I did not practice the policies I will espouse to you shortly. That is apparently also a truly terrible piece of writing from this professional-ass journalistic type writer. But, allegedly, it contains 1 or 2 very good lines. I know all of this, which is not enough of... I don't know enough of this to know all of this. I know far too much of this for a person. A person need not know any of this. Dear God, don't know this. I'm sorry that you know this. I feel bad for my role in educating anyone as to these things. But that is the reason. That whole nonsense is the reason I had the thought, today seems like a pretty good day. Please, God, let us all forget this. Let us forget these people. That would be... We should not, because it will inevitably lead us as a species back to this moment again, as it clearly has. But, in general, please let us forget these people is a good, desperate prayer. One that will probably not be answered, but yes, indeed, Sunflare Space, please let us forget these people. But I digress. We've got a dark blue over here, and a red up this way, and this dark blue business. So, I also have the sniffles. Can we get through to Monday before this thing all goes to shit, please? It's only gone to moderate shit, please. That's not what I needed. Well, alright, we'll take a bridge, and have ourselves a thanksgiving. I've got this business up here. I've got this house up here now. Hold on. The presence of this house allows for the distribution of these over to here. Please let us forget these people is a damn good episode title. Thank you. Please let us forget these people. Dear God. It also ties into the actual bit I was going to do. So, we don't really need 5 houses to come down here, swing down that way. Sunflare Space. Sunflare Space has redeemed Let's Remember a Guy and would like to remember the famous actor Christopher Lee, I think. Christopher Lee's an actor, right? He played he was in The Lord of the Rings, and he played Count Dooku, and it's about all I know about him. It's that he was in The Lord of the Rings and he played Count Dooku. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a person who watches a ton of movies. I'm aware of Christopher Lee. He always seemed like a guy you'd call on when you needed to play a stately old British motherfucker. He was in the British Secret Service in World War II, and that is cool, because World War II was probably the last time there was a... Well, the last time so far. It did occur to me that I have thoughts as to how this, the last time so far. Actually, no. There have definitely been. World War II was one of the last times so far where there was very, very clearly a bad guy and a good guy in an international conflict. Like, we can argue about the motivations of the side that wound up being correctly called the good guys, and it was a lot more complicated and less simple than the way the good guys portrayed it in the end. The bad guys kind of made that one easy for the good guys. That having been said, there were pretty clearly good guys and bad guys in World War II. There are, incidentally, pretty clearly good guys and bad guys in the war that is currently being cocked up against Venezuela. Just made up out of whole cloth. Good morning, Kyozo. We've been talking about people we should forget about. A person we should remember is the famous actor Christopher Lee, who, unfortunately, I don't really remember. Like, I don't think I've ever seen... I've probably seen... Yeah, he was Count Dooku, so... Wait. Was he Count Dooku? Yeah. Okay. I thought of Christopher Lee, and I thought of him with long hair, but I think that was just thinking of The Lord of the Rings. I've seen Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, and that might be it, because I have never properly consumed any piece of media regarding The Lord of the Rings. That is a true and factual statement about your dear friend, _Goog. Let's see here. I don't have a tunnel. I've used all 4 of my tunnels. Okay. We're looking into ways to get this green serviced, but this map is not being friendly. It's certainly not amazing in that regard. We've also got this red circle here, and this red circle here is kind of a dick bastard, it must be said. I don't really... Alright, hold on. I have, like, a quarter of an idea right now. If we chop and kill this road here, that will free up a tunnel, right? We draw motorway number 3 up this way for these beiges to get into that beigeness. That frees up this tunnel just as soon as this car gets out of it. So that car gets out of it and we free up a tunnel. Now, we still have... We have these greens here. We have like 5 greenhouses on the whole entire map, and they are in just the worst place, really. They're in a horrendous location. But what if we take these 2 greenhouses, which are presently stapled to this road, and we just kind of diagonalate right through here, into here, we toss a roundabout, and then we send the greens up that way. So these 2 greenhouses can at least theoretically run down here and salvage the life and times of this business. I don't know if that's actually going to work, but it's probably worth a shot. It's probably worth a shot, right? Right? Don't answer that. Anyway, I'm going to save a bridge. This bridge right here, you see how it's not being used? Well, it can continue never, ever, ever being used. We'll just do that. There is a way to make this a little more efficient, and actually, I think we will take advantage of it. I was trying to avoid killing this tunnel, but it can be dead for a moment. It's fine. I'm basically just going to redraw the tunnel with a diagonal here to save a road tile, but it'll make things more efficient in the long run. Speaking of things being more efficient in the long run, hi there, yellow business. You're kind of a jerk, but you'll be a well-supported jerk. You come over this way. That's the best kind of jerk, don't you know? The best kind of jerk. Title of the episode. And pleasurable. Never mind. These yellows come up here. We go that way. We'll toss. Nope. You need to be a tunnel. You need to be one in exactly one tunnel. So you'll do that. Yes. The best kind of jerk. Title of the episode. Again, the kind of person... Well, no. These are the worst kinds of jerks. These are jerks who actively enable the horrors, but aren't even interesting to talk about. And yet... this green right here, I'm going to run it down this way. This is suboptimal because it creates a both ways intersection at this business. But that's secondary to the fact that it just creates more houses right now, and we need just more houses right now. This red circle's actively dying, which is bad. If I get another motorway, I can have these 4 reds probably do something. Oh, God. Well, you remember what I was saying about if and when I get another motorway? Yeah, that's not... Well, I have a bridge. I can bridge this way. If we bridge that way. Okay. Give me a tunnel. Sunflare space. It's important to me that you know that you are a Boschtet. God. Alright. Jeezum crow. Alright. I have a terrible idea. No, I can't do that. I had a truly terrible idea. So this dark blue's dying. This dark blue's dying. All of the dark blues on the map are mad right now, which is bad. It's not what you want. All of the reds are very actively dying. I can't really get... traffic lights would probably... might have helped a little bit. It's just difficult right now. It's not great. Yeah, man, I could pull these 2 over here for this business, but that would screw over this one. I could pull one of these for this business, but this one's already dying. Yeah, man. I feel as though the problems there were structural. That was just a poorly constructed city that ultimately fell apart. 1,206 commuters sure is a score. Is top 25% in the world. It's not very good compared to Samurai Sam. So, anyway, let us bring in our dear friend the Wordle so that there is some visual stimulus on the screen. We're not actually going to do the Wordle for a minute here. For you see, it is time to do the bit. It is time to do the bit. So if you, like me, are a person who is addicted to social media, despite the fact that it's horrendous, you may have noticed that there are a few things that people will not shut up about, even though they can do nothing about it and the topic is annoying or it hurts your soul to observe. If you stare directly at it, it literally causes pain and anguish and frustration and is deleterious to one's mental health. So there are things that are just annoying, and then there are things that are actively painful to observe, and sometimes you just need to not in order to exist as a person. One can only endure so many horrors, right? I think we can all agree on this. Well, social media is not good inherently about horrors. Thankfully, it knows this, and Bluesky, at least, has a lovely feature called muting. You can mute accounts, you can mute threads, and what we're going to talk about today, you can mute terms. If there is a thing that people will not shut up about, a word that people will not stop saying, a topic you do not wish to see discussed, you can, imperfectly, it is certainly not going to erase all discussion of this topic or anything from your following or discover feeds or anything like that. But if you eliminate enough words, you can dance through some raindrops. I now present the _Goog's list of muted Bluesky terms. Kiddo, Israel, Palestine, Gaza, Colombia, UCLA, NYPD, LAPD, BSKY There's a tabletop RPG that people play with Bluesky tabs. It's dumb and stupid, and half of my friends are doing it. Trump, Harris, Biden, Vance, Israeli, Netanyahu, Mueller, Bari, Weiss. First just annoying journalist on the list. There will be more. From Gaza, Gates, as in Matt Gates, not, entrances and fences. Portnoy, Barstool, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Nancy Mace, Iglesias, as in Matt Iglesias. You don't need to know who that is. Matt Iglesias. Twitter, Elon, Musk, Singal. There's a guy named Jesse Singal. He's annoying. I didn't remember how to spell his name. Barstool Sports is a terrible, ostensible sports website that is responsible for 70% of what I'll just broadly describe as bro culture. It had a moment in the late 2000s and is now worth $1 billion because the world is horrible. Moderation, moderator, Junie, congestion, Donald, federal, government, coup, Doge. Quick tangent. Remember Doge? The horrible government agency, not the cute dog. Although also the cute dog. U.S. aid, tariff, dictator, AI, spangled, COVID, Democrat, Republican, Constitution, protest, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, oligarch, immigration, fascist, FBI, CIA, RFK, NIH, HHS. I was on a bit of a roll. Kennedy, infectious, COVID, yes, again. Vaccine, measles, polio, brainworm, Hexith, NATO, Linda, Hochul, Eric Adams, DOJ, Project 2025, White House, Press Secretary, Attorney General. Hold on, I have to cough. Bove, MAGA, Bannon, Salute, Nazi, Sieg, Heil, Hitler, OPM, Tesla, Obama, Red State, Blue State, Dems, Blue City, Blue Cities, Jeffries, Hakeem. There's a Democratic politician named Hakeem Jeffries. He's terrible. Pelosi, Schumer, Cuomo, Newsom. There's a non-zero chance that I've just included the next president of the United States in that term list, and God, I hate this country. Nome, Homeland Security, DHS. Yes, Kyozo, there is way too much politics on my fucking Bluesky feed. This is why I have to mute all of these fucking people. Deport, deported, centrist, centrists, ChatGPT, generative, Gen AI, Fetterman, Abu Ghazala, Rogan, LLM, Bluesky. Yes, I had to mute the word Bluesky on Bluesky because the discussion of Bluesky on Bluesky is fucking infuriating. This is bad for you. The correct answer is don't fucking use social media, but my brain is broken. Anti-Semitic, anti-Semitism, Zoran, Mamdani, Resistance, Democratic Party, Supreme Court, Stephen Miller with a V, Stephen Miller with a PH, Talmadge. I don't remember why I muted that one, but I'm sure I had a good reason. Rowling, Big Beautiful Bill, Times, New York Times, Cremu with an accent over the first E. I, again, have already forgotten who this person is, which indicates that this fucking works. Sometimes. Rufo, Loomer, Grok, Abbott, Mecha Hitler. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that there was a moment in time where Mecha Hitler was an important term in American politics? I hate this fucking moment. Border Patrol, CBP, Cracker Barrel, Charlie Kirk, Talking Points USA, Ezra Klein, Ezra, McGrath, Plattner, Brianna Wu, Do That, Kim Davis, Durbin, Nuzzy, Ryan Lizza, Bamboo, Liza, Epstein. This has been the _Goog's list of muted terms on Bluesky, which, incidentally, serves as a pretty handy list of annoyances over the last, 18 months or so. Oh, God. Don't do social media, children. I realize that you're on what technically falls under the very vast umbrella of social media. Don't do social media, children. The wordle today is media. The wordle today is not media, but it contains an E and an I, and that's something. It could be hinge. There's nothing saying it's not hinge aside from our recently discovered knowledge that it's not hinge, but, you know. It could be... It's a wonderful question, actually. What could it be? It could be noise. It could be noise. Sonny and I had the same thought, basically. All right, well, let's see here. There's an N and an O. I can't think of any word that ends IOE. I don't think that's a thing. It's opine. The wordle today is opine. Free range butts, Kyozo? Kyozo has free range butts, and free range butts is one of the titles of the episode. Have I mentioned that a quarter of the internet is down? I wonder if this one website I've heard of is down. Does now seem like a good time for us to try Rule 30 Fortle? Sure, why not? It's my damn show. I can do whatever I want. So there's this thing called, let's see here. Hold on. Which one of these is the real one? Oh. Anyway, you're a person who exists on the internet. You know what Rule 34 is. Here's a simple game. Which of these do you think has more adult-focused posts on... I think it's just on AO3. This is the game. They give you one, and then you have to think, does Bucky Barnes have more than 39,103 posts on AO3? The answer is no. I think I'm going to give this one to the Friday Night Funkin' franchise. I was right. And now, it's Bucky Barnes against some anime character you've never heard of. Let's go with some anime character I've never heard of. That seems to be good logic. I've played this game exactly once, and it turned out I was pretty okay at it. So, $8.95, a piranha plant? $8.95 is not a huge number, but we're going to go with this one. Damn it, I was wrong. Damn it, I was wrong. All right, we're going to get to a 5 streak, and once we get to a 5 streak, that's going to be the one, and then we're going to move on. My Life as a Teenage Robot is victorious over this. And now Inside Job versus Big Boss from Metal Gear. Nope, that's going to be... Oh, I gave too much credit. All right. Elastigirl versus Sombra. Ooh. 8,000. I think Sombra just missed the peak. Sombra is not the most popular Overwatch character for this kind of thing. The most popular character for this kind of thing is very specifically straight tracer porn because people are dumb. And yet Sombra wins. God damn it, I'm bad today. All right. We're going to give this one to Harley Quinn. Good job, Harley Quinn. Christy Montero versus this person from My Hero Academia. Okay. Well, this is a small number, and I've heard of My Hero Academia. You'd think it would matter that this appears to be a child of some kind. It does not. It does not. I've also heard of One Punch Man, but that's a big number. We go with big number. This 10,000 is still big number. We've heard of Full Metal Alchemist. I've heard of Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, that child was the okay, well, main character energy. That does make sense. FMA is really, 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 really popular. I think we're gonna... dang it. See, getting to a 5 streak is harder than you'd think. All right, now I'm going to take some learned knowledge here. I would not think that there's much for Ana, but there is a young Ana skin, which may or may not help people, and 2,500 is not a huge number. It's okay. I was close, but I was correct. I don't know who that is, but yeah. Oh. Huh. See, apparently we're just bad at the video game. Hello, bronies. We unfortunately see and are aware of you. So is it Pinkie Pie or all of Fallout? I think it's going to be Pinkie Pie over all of Fallout. It was indeed Pinkie Pie instead of all of Fallout. However, all of Fallout versus, I think Riku is like the main antagonist who has a late game face turn in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. All right, this is the run. God damn it. This was not the run. Bowser or Thanos? The answer is Bowser. Dear God, people, stop writing about Bowser. Thanos or this girl from DOA? Yup. Go for DOA. Okay. No. There's a non-zero amount of fix for Cocoa Cookie from Cookie Run Kingdom. There aren't 2,300 of them. There are... Oh, God. This one particular VTuber? No, it's going to be this one particular... Yep, it's going to be that one particular VTuber. I'm going to say this right now. There are not. There had damn well better not be 748 posts about the _ Goog on AO3. We're not going to go look. This one particular VTuber or a chick from an anime? It's going to be the chick from the anime. A chick from an anime or this guy with a fairly cool fire-based cape from an anime. At a glance, I thought this was a Pokemon, and then it turns out to be a fella. But, yep. Okay. Giorno... Okay. That appears to be... We are so deep in the never heard of these people, but JoJo's big, right? Exactly 1,400. Okay. From Fire Emblem? Not one that I've heard of, but I've only heard of like 2 Fire Emblem games, so that doesn't matter much. This is a toughie. I'm going to go with Giorno. Hey, we were right. By we, I mean I. All of Punch-Out. I'm sorry. What fic... Well, I mean, I get... The things you have to consider for this game. We're going to go with all of Punch... God damn it. Okay. That was the run. That is Rule 34. Apparently, there's like a battle between this and another thing that stole the same game. I don't know. It's a silly, stupid game, but it's silly and fun. And Time Guesser's dead. Why would you do Punch-Out when Bowser is right there? I mean, listen. The heart wants what the heart wants, I guess. For today's Immaculate Grid, which does work. Yay. We need Dodgers and Rangers and Red Sox and Cubs and dudes what played shortstop and dudes what had 100 runs in a season. Well, a dude who played for the Dodgers and the Red Sox is, of course, Nick Punto. It's a true fact that Nick Punto played for both the Dodgers and the Red Sox. A Los Angeles Dodger who played shortstop is Nomar Garciaparra. We're going to throw curveballs today as much as I can. A dude who played for the Boston Red Sox and had 100 runs scored in a season is Mookie Betts. The joke is we're not saying Mookie Betts for reasons. Dude who scored 100 runs in a season for the Red Sox is Jacoby Ellsbury. It's a thing that happened one time, probably more than one time. He was good and fast and got on base a fair clip, and yeah, he was a good baseball player until he wasn't. But, you know, when he was good, he was good. Dude who played shortstop and scored 100 runs in a season. Okay, we'll do it one time. It's Marcus Lynn Betts. Dude who scored 100 runs in a season while playing for the Chicago Cubs is Chris Bryant? I don't know, he was driving in runs, but was anyone driving in him? That is the question. Dude who played for the Cubs and the Dodgers is also a good question, but we'll get there. Dude who scored 100 runs in a season for the Cubs. It's Ernie Banks. Just name a historically great Chicago Cub. The answer is Ernie Banks. Bowser does have a whole bunch of kids, Kyozo. You're not wrong. You're very much not wrong about that. Dude who played for the Cubs and the Dodgers is not Jed Lowry. I don't think Nomar Garciaparra actually was a Cub, but he doesn't, we already used him, so we can't use him again. Let's see here. Is John Lackey a Dodger? No, I don't think so. He started with the Angels, but he was never a Dodger that I know of. Ben Zobrist was never a Dodger. Teoscar Hernandez was never a Cub. Derek Lee? Why do I think Derek Lee was a Dodger? I don't think Derek Lee was a Dodger. Matt Kemp was a Dodger, but never a Cub. Andre Ethier was a Dodger, but never a Cub. All right. Dude who played shortstop for the Rangers is Michael Young. Dude who played for the Red Sox and the Rangers is Doug Mirabelli. Dude who played for the Cubs and the Rangers is John Lackey. I think he was a Ranger. Now I'm not sure of that. Hold on. So John Lackey was with the Angels. Signed as a free agent with the Red Sox. The Red Sox traded him to the Cardinals. And then he bounced around a little bit. He went to the Cubs. I enjoy the Gimme playlist, Kyozo. I think it is good for what I use it for. Where's the share button here? I have a share button for this, don't I? You can just... Hold on. Yeah, you can copy a link to a playlist from Spoofy. Here. That is the thing. I should make a Bang playlist command or something. That's probably a good idea. But anyway, that is the Spotify playlist for Gimme. It is yours if you wish it. There are things in it that are good. And an awful lot of just straight up background music from Final Fantasy XIV. There is an awful lot of just straight background music from Final Fantasy XIV. Samurai Sam isn't here to say 14, so we'll do it in his stead. Speaking of steads, Chet Steadman was a fictional character who played for the Chicago Cubs. Didn't actually count as a real person, and there was no established fact that he had played for the Rangers or Dodgers, although he did strike me as a guy who would play for the Rangers. He was that kind of fella. Anyway, let's see here. Guys who played for the Cubs. I know Mike Maddox is the Rangers' longtime pitching coach, and I think he played for the Cubs, but I'm not sure that he actually played for the Rangers. Pitching coaches don't really have to. Yeah, anyway. Oh, let's see here. Man, I really should have used Nomar Garcia-Parra for the center square. But actually, no, I think he just went to the Dodgers. He stayed with the Dodgers after the Red Sox traded him there and wound up retiring. No, he played for the A's for a little bit, but oh well. All right. Dude who played for the Cubs and the Rangers is Sammy Sosa. Yeah, Sammy Sosa played for the Rangers, I think. Reasonably certain. Not exactly a deep cut, but you know. We've had plenty of single digits. We've had plenty of single digits. We hit a sub 1 with Doug Mirabelli. Always good to hit a sub 1. Now we just need to finish it off with a Cub who was also a Dodger, such as... that's a good question. Zach Greinke was a Dodger, but never a Cub. Greg Maddux was a... Wait. Greg Maddux was a Dodger. He was a Padre. Wait, he was a Padre. Was he a Dodger? Fuck. No, I don't think he bounced that from... No, he did. He did bounce that much around. He did pitch for the... Nope, I don't need Nick Punto's baseball reference page. I need to remember that Greg Maddux... Nope, not Gergay Maddux. Not Maddox's George, the guy who has 10 Maddoxes a day. Greg Maddux played for the Dodgers and the Cubs. This is an immaculate grid. Hooray for me. Glory and triumph to your friend, the _Goog. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I fully intend to be back later this evening with Cyberpunk 2077, and we shall return Thursday with another episode of Gimme. Brave the internet hellscape, stay off of social media, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.